Coming up on Mountain News this morning, protesters took to every state this weekend to voice their concerns about President Donald Trump's administration. And the problem gambling hotline just won't stop ringing since sports gambling was legalized in Kentucky.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Amelia Lee. It is Monday, April 21st, and it's 5:30 this morning, which means it is time to check on in with meteorologist Megan Desmal on our hopefully sunny day ahead. And Megan, what can you tell us about our day today?
Well, I can tell you it will not be a sunny day, unfortunately, but I can tell you this morning will be warm. So, I guess there's some good news, right? Here's a look at those temperatures compared to this time yesterday, with most of the region seeing warmer temperatures above 5 degrees. 11 degrees warmer right now, actually, in Irvine and Somerset, as well as Williamsburg, 14 degrees warmer in Jacksboro and Monticello, and 16 in Middlesboro. All will change as you're heading into the afternoon, though. We'll see a much colder day ahead. Here's a look at those current temperatures, mainly sitting in the upper 60s and low 70s, seeing a little bit cooler temperatures in Whitesburg, 57 degrees. But as I mentioned, today will be a lot cooler than yesterday. Now, you still do see some 80s out there, but take a look at Monticello and Somerset, 75 degrees. That's because that rain's going to get here around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, dropping those temperatures and not allowing them to get as warm. However, our farther counties to the east have a little bit more time before that rain gets there, and that's why they're warming up a little bit more. Here's a look at satellite and radar right now. Again, nice and clear, but those rain chances are on the way as we're going through the next couple of hours. And speaking of the next couple of hours, here's the next 12. We'll see those temperatures warming up, seeing chances for some thunder this afternoon. Amelia.
A Pulaski County man is in jail after officials say he shot and killed his wife. The sheriff's office says 61-year-old Ralph Lettner walked over to his neighbor's house and confessed to the crimes. After EMS services arrived, first responders tried to revive 50-year-old Kimberly Lettner, but she was later pronounced dead at the scene. Officials then made the arrest on Lettner. In Wayne County, West Virginia, a minor has died after what police investigators believe was an accidental shooting. According to West Virginia State Police, 3 people were inside a car when a gun went off. Troopers say one of the people in the car was showing off their gun when it was fired. As a result, a minor was shot in the stomach. Troopers say the minor died while on the way to the hospital. Also in Wayne County, a youth sports coach is facing charges of distribution and possession of child pornography. According to court documents, Greg Bragg was arrested after investigators uncovered sexually explicit images from minors that were uploaded to the internet. A spokesperson with Wayne County Schools confirmed that Bragg is a middle school football and baseball coach at Crum Pre-K through 8 and that he has been placed on leave. A Carter County man was sentenced to 8 years in prison for crimes against girls under the age of 16. In a release from the Attorney General's office, Chester Griffith pleaded guilty to 2 felony counts of sexual abuse in the first degree back in January. He also pleaded guilty to 2 counts of criminal attempt to commit sexual abuse for 2 additional victims under the age of 12. From Washington, D.C. and Denver to Atlanta and Annapolis, thousands of Americans took to the streets on Saturday. Protesters across the country rallied against recent Trump administration decisions. More than 80 cities hosted 50501 protests, and that name stands for 50 Protests, 50 States, One Movement. Hundreds of folks gathered at Lexington's Courthouse Plaza as part of the efforts.
Words escape me, really. It's just it's unprecedented what we're living through, and I just can't believe this is happening in this country.
And it's not just concerns about democracy. 2 Kentucky physicians say they're worried about recent layoffs from the CDC and possible cuts to the National Institutes of Health. Calls to the Kentucky Council on Problem Gambling hotline have more than quadrupled in recent years. That's according to data from the council. In 2022, before sports betting was legalized here in Kentucky, the hotline received an average of 59 calls per month. In 2023, that average jumped up to 105, and last year it was 207. And if you do need help, you can call 1-800-GAMBLER. We'll also have a link to the Kentucky Council on Problem Gambling's website in the story on WYMT.com.
It can be very dangerous when he or she is confronted with all of the advertisement, the activities, and all the pieces that go along with the fun and excitement of the race.
Stone says for those who struggle, it's not really about winning money. They just want to get in on the action. There's a scam making its way around, and you've likely gotten a message about an overdue toll payment or an Easy Pass final reminder. And don't fall for these messages. They're one of the latest attempts to take your personal information. Lee Waldman is live in New York, and he has the story.
It's deceptively simple, the scam, and it's very easy to fall for.
You've likely gotten a few of these messages to your phone recently, alerting you to unpaid tolls or an outstanding Easy Pass balance. These are called smishing scams.
They're looking to steal your personal information, followed by your credit card information, and finally, they will often have a multi-factor authentication bypass.
Ford Merrill, Director of Research and Innovation at Security Alliance, has been following these types of scams since 2023. To protect yourself, he says, pay attention to the sender.
Looking at the sender address, it will often be like a strange number that you don't recognize, or it will be an email address that you don't recognize, even though it's a text message.
Frank Orr, the executive director of the New York State Thruway Authority, agrees, saying legitimate agencies like his will never try to collect payment over text or email.
They will never ask you to pay a bill in this way. You either have an account or you have a formal process to pay your tolls by mail.
His agency is working with New York Governor Kathy Hochul's office to warn the public about these scams, as well as what to do if you fall victim. If you do get one of these messages, Orr says simply delete it.
Red flags should go off right away as to whether this is legitimate and real, and they should not engage if it's somebody by phone. If it's an email or text, they should delete it right away.
In New York, I'm Lee Waldman.
These toll smishing scams are a widespread problem that the FBI is taking seriously. According to its data, in 2024, the Internet Crime Complaint Center received more than 60,000 complaints about the unpaid toll scam. Nearly a dozen puppies found on the side of the road are now being cared for. 10 puppies were dumped on the side of the Mountain Parkway. Anita Spritzer says it's never okay to dump an animal. If you can't take care of more than what you have now, get your pet spayed or neutered.
That didn't have to happen if they would have had their dog spayed or neutered. And that's what it comes down to.
Spritzer says Kentucky needs to make laws where animals need to be spayed and neutered, and there needs to be more affordable vet care. This Easter, a Frankfort church served their community through a free pancake Easter breakfast. Volunteers with the First United Methodist Church traded their Sunday best for aprons and got to work, feeding flood survivors and those helping with the cleanup efforts. They also gave them food to go and Easter baskets.
Thought, how do we just do Easter as usual? It's not a usual Easter. It's a time to stop dressing up and start serving our neighbors.
If you're a church and you're really following the Lord Jesus, then this is what you do.
Leftovers from the breakfast were taken to a local homeless shelter. April is National Organ Donation Month, and this month brings awareness to those who are organ donors and recognizing those who have given others the gift of life. One father-daughter duo is celebrating this month as Kristen Hurst was able to give her father a second chance at life by donating one of her kidneys. Her father has lived more than a decade after her generous gift, and their bond is closer than ever.
It's not easy by any means. It is very hard and it was very difficult during the time, but worth it 100%.
Kristen says while it was tough for a few days, the end result was worth it. She encourages people who are thinking of being an organ donor to do research beforehand. When we return, the iconic Goonies house, once in need of saving, won't need lost treasure to return to its former glory.
And I'll tell you when you need to break out your umbrella up next.